Ever wondered how your choices today could determine the life you lead tomorrow? In this video, we're diving into 7 best purchases, each with the power to reshape your life in ways you might never have imagined, now and in years to come. Ready to take your financial future into your own hands? The 4th purchase will surprise you. Let's get right into it. 1. Trust fund. A trust fund is not merely a financial instrument. It is a powerful tool for securing your legacy and making a lasting impact on the world. By setting up a trust fund, you create a structured way to pass on your assets and wealth to your loved ones or causes you are passionate about. One of the key advantages of a trust fund is the ability to manage and distribute your assets according to your wishes, even after your passing. Trust funds often offer tax benefits, ensuring that your assets are preserved and distributed efficiently. The true beauty of a trust fund lies in its longevity. It's not just about securing your own future. It's about creating a financial legacy that can benefit generations to come. This transformative financial decision enables you to change lives well beyond your own, leaving an indelible mark on the world. 2. Education. Investing in education is an investment in yourself. The availability of Kindle ebooks and Audible audiobooks has revolutionized the way we access knowledge and learning resources. Whether you're a lifelong learner or seeking to enhance your skills for personal or professional development, these digital platforms are a treasure trove of information. Kindle ebooks provide a vast library at your fingertips, offering a wide range of literature, textbooks, and self-help guides. They enable you to explore diverse subjects, learn new skills, and gain insights from experts and thought leaders worldwide. The convenience of digital books allows you to carry an entire library with you, ensuring that knowledge is always within reach. Audible takes learning to the next level by making educational content accessible through audio. This means you can learn on the go, during your daily commute, or while working out. Whether it's exploring a new language, absorbing insights from business titans, or simply enjoying classic literature, Audible caters to different learning styles and schedules. Education is a lifelong journey, and it is the key to personal growth, career advancement, and a broader understanding of the world. By investing in your education through these digital platforms, you have the means to continually evolve, acquire new knowledge, and transform your life through self-improvement. The return on this investment is immeasurable, as it opens doors to new opportunities, empowers you to adapt to a changing world, and fuels your personal and professional growth. 3. Travel and experiences. Travel and experiences are investments that can profoundly enrich your life. Traveling is not just about visiting new places. It's about immersing yourself in different cultures, trying unique cuisines, and creating memories that will last a lifetime. It's an investment in broadening your perspective and gaining a deeper understanding of the world. Experiences are the currency of a life well lived. Whether it's hiking through lush forests, scuba diving in exotic waters, or simply strolling through the charming streets of a foreign city, these moments shape us. They introduce us to new people, ideas, and ways of life, fostering personal growth and self-discovery. Travel and experiences offer much more than leisure. They provide an education that cannot be acquired through traditional means. They encourage adaptability, empathy, and an appreciation for the diversity of our world. These investments are not just about spending money. They are investments in your own happiness, wisdom, and cultural enrichment. They open doors to new friendships, create cherished memories, and offer a fresh outlook on life. So, pack your bags and embark on the journey of a lifetime, for these experiences are priceless and life-altering. 4. Your necessities. Investing in your everyday necessities is not merely about comfort. It's about creating an environment that fosters well-being, productivity, and overall satisfaction in your life. A good bed and mattress, for example, have a direct impact on the quality of your sleep, which in turn affects your physical and mental health. Investing in a high-quality bed and mattress is an investment in the restoration of your body and mind, ensuring you wake up feeling rejuvenated and ready to conquer the day. Similarly, a coffee machine may seem like a small luxury, but it plays a vital role in maintaining your daily energy and productivity levels. It provides that much-needed caffeine kickstart to your morning and can enhance your efficiency throughout the day. A comfortable sofa set becomes the sanctuary where you relax, connect with family, and unwind after a long day, contributing to your mental well-being and overall happiness. For those who work from home, an ergonomic office chair is indispensable. It supports your posture, reduces strain on your back and neck, and enables you to focus on your tasks without physical discomfort. The long-term impact of investing in these necessities isn't just limited to your immediate comfort. It extends to your overall well-being, professional efficiency, and ultimately your quality of life. Investing in these everyday necessities is an investment in your well-being and productivity. It ensures that you have the right tools and environment to flourish in your personal and professional life. When you prioritize your comfort and efficiency, you're setting the stage for a more satisfying and successful future. 5. Your Ikigai. Investing in your Ikigai is a profound commitment to aligning your life and career with your true purpose and passion. The concept of Ikigai, stemming from Japanese philosophy, represents the intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. It's about discovering your unique, meaningful path in life and building your existence around it. This investment may involve embarking on a journey of self-discovery, exploring new career paths, acquiring additional skills, or even launching your own business. It signifies a transformational shift in your approach to work and life. When you're in harmony with your Ikigai, your work ceases to be just a means of earning a paycheck. It becomes a source of deep satisfaction and purpose. Embracing your Ikigai isn't always easy. It may require significant changes and self-reflection. However, the rewards are immeasurable. You'll find yourself waking up each day with a sense of purpose, excited to pursue work that resonates with your heart and soul. This alignment enhances your creativity, motivation, and overall well-being. It's a life-changing decision that can lead to financial success, career fulfillment, and a deep sense of contentment that permeates every aspect of your life. 6. Healthy food and exercise. Investing in your health through a balanced diet and regular exercise is a commitment that pays off in both the short and long term. Quality nutrition fuels your body with the essential nutrients it needs to function optimally. It not only bolsters your physical health, but also plays a significant role in your mental and emotional well-being. By prioritizing healthy eating, you reduce the risk of chronic illnesses, manage your weight effectively, and increase your longevity. Exercise is another critical element of the equation. It elevates your physical fitness, reduces stress, and contributes to mental health. Regular physical activity supports a healthy weight, strengthens your body, and enhances your overall quality of life. Whether you prefer jogging in the park, practicing yoga, or hitting the gym, exercise is an investment in the longevity and vibrancy of your life. The decision to invest in your health transcends the purely physical realm. It has a profound impact on your emotional and mental well-being. By feeling better, you're more likely to tackle life's challenges with enthusiasm, make better decisions, and enjoy a heightened sense of self-esteem and overall happiness. Furthermore, by preventing illness and improving your well-being, you can significantly reduce the financial burden of medical expenses in the long run, making this investment in your health a sound financial decision as well. 7. Delegation. In our fast-paced, modern world, time is a finite asset, and how you utilize it can profoundly impact your quality of life. Delegation is a form of leverage that optimizes your time, creating a ripple effect of benefits throughout your life. By outsourcing tasks that don't require your personal attention, you gain the freedom to engage in activities that genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. This approach is transformative as it empowers you to pursue your passions, deepen your connections, and unlock your creative potential. Delegation, through the efficient use of technology and freelance services, is a powerful way to leverage your time and focus on the things you love, ultimately leading to a more balanced, fulfilling life. With the advent of technology, a myriad of apps and digital tools have emerged to streamline daily tasks and responsibilities. These apps include task management, grocery delivery, virtual assistants, and more. By embracing such tools, you can automate, simplify, and organize various aspects of your life, reducing the time and energy spent on mundane chores. This shift in focus allows you to channel your resources into what truly matters to you, whether it's advancing your career, nurturing your passions, or spending quality time with loved ones. Moreover, freelancers offer a unique opportunity to delegate specialized tasks or projects that require a specific skill set. Whether it's graphic design, content creation, or even household maintenance, freelancers provide on-demand expertise that enables you to outsource work outside your core competencies. This delegation allows you to concentrate on activities that align with your strengths and interests, enhancing your overall productivity and life satisfaction. In the world of finance, the choices we make today can sculpt our tomorrows. These 7 life-changing financial purchases offer the promise of a future filled with opportunity, growth, and happiness. So, what's the one investment you are most eager to make, and how will it change the rhythm of your life?